You enjoying yourself?
Oh, yes, I am. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. You know that sound then?
Yeah.
When the Jays race, they sound like whales. You go.
What is it? The sails?
As all the ropes creak with all like that. That's the sound. Well, here in Sarasota at the culmination of an incredible 12 months to produce 2 paintings for the American Society of Marine Art exhibition here. A long year, an incredible year, and I'm incredibly happy with what we've produced. And I've got so many memories which I want to share of how these paintings came about, where the inspiration came for. The process I want to share is about where the vision comes from and how these paintings came together over the period of a whole 12 months. This is a culmination of 12 months work, and to be sat here, having seen the paintings last night, I feel myself overwhelmed by it, and I'm really excited to share everything about them with you all. Wow, look at that thing. Last year I had a show at Palm Avenue, and we hit upon the idea that maybe we should do 2 special paintings for the following year, inspired about one particular event in the history of the J class, which was the 1934 battle selection between the new boat Rainbow and Yankee.
We're taking you on board Rainbow, America's Cup defender, and showing you some intimate pictures of her in her trial against Yankee. Her skipper, Mr. Vanderbilt, is at the helm, whilst the crew with a hand winch sheets in the mainsail. Rainbow has a sail area of 7,555 square feet and a 165-foot mainmast down which you can get a bird's eye view of the yacht. She beat Yankee by just 1 second, and so's chosen to meet the challenger.
So I researched actual races, we worked through the New York Yacht Times reports, I went to the New York Yacht Club and researched their files for that particular year and how the campaign of the 2 yachts developed. That gave me the backgrounds of where the races were actually performed, where they were. So during the course of the summer we visited Cape Cod, retraced all the race courses, getting all the relevant, photographing all the relevant background.
Where are we off to? Where are we off to? We're off to the vineyards. That's right.
We followed the America's Cup races from Newport. We went off Castle Point, over to Block Island, and now we're just coming back into Newport. So now I'm going to get a shot of the harbour frontage, and what I'll do is I shall remove the new boats and the new buildings and place some old boats there. We're taking it back in time, recreate its history. We made sure that we did these trips in the same weather conditions at the same time of day as the actual races were. So the actual lighting was coming from the right angles, sea state was what it would have been at the time. So apart from the boats being there, the imagination put the boats there. Because what I want to do is make the viewer feel like they're in the boat at the time watching the actual races come past you. So actually going to Cannes and being involved in actually in the mix with the boats. When I'm looking at these boats, I'm not seeing the boats and which I'm actually watching. My head is seeing boats from the past. I'm seeing sort of Yankee and Rainbow cross-tacking and beating together and dialing up before the race. And these boats give me the sensation of all the lighting, all the action, all the drama which I carry in my head. So then when I go back to the studio, I bring all the sort of the cold historical facts which I've got from other sources into the emotional and the memories I have, along with the photographic, because I take a lot of photographs and video as well when I'm actually on location, bring it all together and then start to build a painting from there. This for information for painting the Jays. As you look at the sails, the way the lines are showing the curves of the sails, So that's really good information that when I do a painting of a J, then I can use that as reference to make sure that my sails don't look flat and they're of the correct shape. That gives me all the reference I need to get my sails as the correct shape. And also how the light comes through the sails. So what I'm doing now is we're going round in a 360-degree pass, so I'll get the sails from every conceivable angle. But yes, that's what I need to, to enhance one of my paintings. So then I go over and get the relevant shots I want. But each day I start with a definite shoot list, so I make sure that I get everything I need.
My wife, we made 14 or 15 different sail patterns from pillowcases and bed sheets, experimenting so we could get the belly of the sail in the right place. And then I used a wind machine to inflate the sails so we can get the actual shape and the lines as accurately as we could, so people can feel what it was like to be there at the moment, rather than just relying on a cold newspaper report or a book entry, so they can visually feel like, yeah, that must have been a fantastic moment. These were incredible boats. It's a long process, it's 12 months work, but I just feel really good that the paintings turned out really well, and I'm really pleased with the reception they've got. I remember you said you'd like to come with me to Cannes.
Of course, I had to understand everything.
I normally don't like people, I'd rather be there on my own, do on my own. You were incredible. Throughout it, you made it so special, because you were covering angles. Sometimes I was photographing you were actually holding the steering wheel. Absolutely. So I could rotate around, and then I would step back in the back of the boat. And you'd never driven the Rib before. You just stood there. I just saying, just point it that way, and just keep an eye out for anything coming in from the side.
We had our $1 million day where
just
everything was perfect. The sky, the wind was blowing, the sun was coming through. Everything was absolutely spectacular. I was stuck in a shame. Stuck's the wrong word, because it was incredible. Now when I see your paintings, I see them in a completely different light, because I saw the paintings first,
Yep.
had never seen boats sail in real life. And so now when I look at your paintings, I see the painting, but I hear the sound of the sails coming down or the sails going up, and it almost like a whale is calling out when it catches the wind.
Yes, exactly that.
It really brings the full experience to me, and so I understand why the sailors can't resist.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the best in the world. There's no
Thank
doubt
you.
about it.
We found that day when it was raining, flat calm, raining, so we just sat out there waiting for the breeze, hoping for the breeze. Nothing happened that day.
Just another day.
Another day. Make sure the boat don't sink first.
Yeah, so this is the following day, and yesterday was absolutely fantastic with all the sun and the light and the wind, but today obviously it's completely different conditions. But if you're not out here, you don't take advantage of what could potentially happen. The clouds could clear in an instant, and we could have sun and wind, and we've got a nice big swell happening. So you sit here and you sort of wait. If you're not out here, then you're never going to sort of take advantage of those special moments. So we'll just sit here and wait in the rain. I've been out there on days like that where it looks hopeless, And all of a sudden, a breeze comes in, the clouds part, the sun comes out, all of a sudden everything's action. And if you're not there, you're not going to get it. And
No.
that's where the inspiration comes from. You just, you've got to be willing to get out there and, live it, be it, be
Absolutely.
part of it. That's what brings the painting to life. It's that adrenaline you're getting at the mark. That's what really that's what lives in your brain. When you're in the studio, you're miles away from all of those experiences. It's then when you shut your eyes, that's what's tied in. So when you look at the picture, when you're starting to get that memory there, then you know you've got it. I always say I know a painting is working and done, and I look at it and it starts to move. If it moves, I've got it. If it's not moving, I need to do something. The picture moves, I go, yes!